Hello everyone, my name is Melissa Ortiz. It is an honor and a pleasure to be here today speaking to all of you at the Career Fair of Women in Soccer. I've been an absolute advocate for women in soccer and the community that the fabulous staff is building out. I think this is something that has been needed for so many years, and I'm so happy and glad that it's actually happening. And for all of you to be able to have access to all of this and the people that are part of it who are of tremendous talent and background. And not only that, but to be part of the community that helps so much, especially when, well, you're either a woman or someone that wants to join the soccer world or sports world and maybe doesn't know where to start or maybe just wants to meet people. So anyways, welcome to my bedroom, my childhood bedroom that is. I'm not in New York City at my office this week. I'm actually visiting my family in Florida where I grew up. And this is my bedroom. And just to give you a little bit about myself, I was born and raised here actually in West Palm Beach, Florida, to Colombian parents. I represented Colombia, as you can see my jersey and some of my memorabilia from the good old playing days. I represented Colombia in the Olympics and a U20 Women's World Cup, amongst other tournaments like Copa America, in a bunch of games, almost around 30 caps, and wish I could have done more, but I'll get more into that. Apart from that, I'm a on-camera host. I'm a broadcaster, soccer analyst, commentator, and also an entrepreneur. I own a coffee company called Kickoff Coffee Co., which if you're part of the Women in Soccer family, I bet you've heard about us so far. So this is our coffee, and I'll get more into that too. And then I'm also a social media influencer, so I work with a large range of brands from soccer to lifestyle to fitness. And I utilize my social media platforms from Instagram to TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook to leverage that and to really just promote brands, but also give out true and good vibes through my fitness videos, through soccer videos, through just regular life, I guess. But yeah, that's a little bit about myself. And again, it's a pleasure and honor to be here today speaking to you, and hopefully what I can share with you from my experience from being a former pro soccer player to now where I am. Hopefully that can encourage you or help you in your journeys as well. So where do I start? I am very proud to be both Colombian and American. I think, I'm so passionate about my roots and where I'm from, including, knowing how to salsa and everything. But also, the United States has given me so many opportunities that I am so incredibly thankful for, whether it was training-wise, in terms of having become a great soccer player and giving me those opportunities, to now in my career, which is in broadcasting and entrepreneurship. I think the United States has given me so many opportunities to grow as a woman. And it has also inspired me to be able to give that message to many of my fellow Colombians, because as we know, in Colombia and in many parts of South America, it's a little bit behind, and there still exists that machismo culture. So whatever you take from today, just hope that you also spread the love and also inspire others to reach for their dreams, to work hard, and to hustle. On the field skills, let's talk about my soccer career. So I was always the type of person that was the hardest worker. I loved being fast. I always used my speed, whether it was in the fitness test or whether it was to take on players. That was one of the skill sets I had, being fast and being technical, being creative, always. And then also on top of that, I was always a leader. I always wanted to set an example. So whether it was in high school, I was captain. In college, I was a captain. And I always just wanted to be a good example for everyone. I was always nice to everyone. If someone needed help with anything, I would be the first to be there. I would stay after practice, not only just for myself to get better, to work on my free kicks and my shots, but I would encourage others to, hey, let's kick some balls after practice. I think we could get a little bit better here. And that was always me. And I look back upon it, and that was me in high school, that was me in college, that was me on the national team as well. And I was just always wanting to get better, to improve, to set an example, and just to be the best version of myself that I could be. And I think I owe that to my parents, because my parents were immigrants who got here practically with nothing, and they have created such a lovely life for my brothers and I, that I know that with every moment that I have and every job or opportunity that comes to me, I want to make the most of it and I want to get better. With that being said, whether it was being fast, creative, a leader, also being like really wanting to take care of my body, that's another thing. So right now in my current days, like I love to just keep on staying fit, not just to feel good, right? But to actually just feel like I've accomplished something every day, or almost every day. I don't work out every day, but I think one of the things that was tough in the transition from playing career to post-playing career was that constant, schedule. You know, coaches would tell you go out and practice. Coaches would tell you this is your agenda for the week, and once you retire, it's gone, and you're just swimming. You're swimming in the deep end. So I think for me, exercise and fitness, whether it's playing soccer, whether it's going to the gym, whether it's joining fitness classes, spinning, yoga, Pilates, etc., all those things has helped me to keep my mind right and stable, and in balance. Now, some of the challenges that I faced, I mean, there were quite a few. I think everybody has faced challenges, whether you're a soccer player or not. Some of the challenges that I faced, one of them was, well, injury. I think I just became so unlucky with injury. Not many people know this, but a huge part of my story was that I was on my way to the Women's World Cup in 2015, and it was the only tournament left, like kind of on my bucket list to be like, okay, after this, you know, I can retire like just fine. I could be happy retiring after this, because all I have left to play is the Women's World Cup. I had already played Copa America, I had already played the Olympics, and the Women's World Cup was that last check on the check box. And so I had been dealing with some Achilles issues, but, and this is going to go into where I'm going to talk about respect. I had been dealing with some issues, but a lot of the doctors just didn't care on our national team back then, in 2014 and 2015, which actually is not that long ago, but and I didn't get the adequate treatment that I needed, but I kept on hustling because I knew I wanted to make the World Cup roster. And not just that, I was fighting the starting position on and off as a right back, and I was definitely like at the peak of my career because I had gotten to that starting spot. And just, we left Colombia. I made the World Cup roster. It was one of the happiest moments of my life when they released the roster. And we left Colombia. We went to Colorado before going to Canada, and we stopped in Colorado to play some friendlies. And in one of those friendly practices, I tore my Achilles. Had to rush to the hospital, get emergency surgery the very next morning. And the day that my teammates flew to Canada to play in the World Cup, I had to fly to Florida here to recover from surgery in a boot and everything. In 1 second, my dream was gone, was taken from me. It could have been destiny, fate, but also just the lack of adequate attention from our coaching and medical staff, because it could have been treated months prior. So there's a lot of things that had gone in my head of, why did this happen? Why was I going through this? My dreams were just ripped apart from me. Not only that, but I had made the Pan American Games squad as well. So it was definitely it was the most difficult part of my life. I suffered from depression. I didn't know what was next. I had worked so hard for something, and I just, one was without a team, without a job. But the one thing that I had was my close friends and my family, who absolutely supported me. And so that was definitely one of the challenges that I faced. It was injury, because around that I started getting muscle pulls, and then in my recovery, it just wasn't the same. Even prior to my Achilles tear, I got some muscle pulls, normal for any athlete, but I just felt like my body was telling me something, that I needed to either stop or reset or figure out something, because something wasn't right mentally, but also physically. So that was one of the challenges, injuries. The other challenge that I had to go through, and I think 99% of women have to go through this, is just the lack of pay. But apart from that, the lack of respect. I think now in the last 5, and especially in the last 2 years, we have seen a massive growth in women's soccer, which is it's incredible, and I absolutely love seeing it. But personally, I feel some FOMO. No, but it's something that we've all worked for so that we could leave the sport better than where we had left it. And it's definitely getting so much better. But when I say lack of respect, it's because that was one of the reasons why I stopped playing in 2017, 18, because on the national team, they stopped paying us. We weren't making any money. I figured that, man, I was making just $1,000 or $2,000 a month playing pro, whether it was overseas or, even here in the USA. And I know that things have quite increased a lot over the past years, which thank goodness. But that was a part of me that I just felt like as a woman, I wasn't being respected and I wasn't being valued for who I was, not only as a player, but as a person. I graduated already and I had, an undergraduate degree in international business. I had my master's degree already in marketing, and I had, some work experience somewhat like in marketing. I had done a summer job with FIFA during a U20 Men's World Cup. I had some other summer jobs at different small clubs and in soccer. And then I had some small jobs when I was off from playing soccer and off from the national team. I would take those off weeks and I would work, not just to make some cash, training kids, doing private sessions, but also I would go to studios or like big networks in Colombia and I'd say, hey, I want to learn how this works. So like broadcasting. So I would go into the studio and just see and just follow and everything, because I knew that one day it was all going to end and I needed to figure out what I was going to do next. Those are the challenges that I faced: injury, but also the respect and not being valued as a woman. And I still think, and I know that exists in today's day and age, in 2022, it still exists. But the good thing is that we're all here to make that better. And we're all here so that there could be more opportunities for us and so that we can be advocates for each other and to help grow this community so that people like me in the next generation won't have to go through that. So all of those skills that I had in soccer, I quickly realized that I had in what I would say, quote unquote, the real world, in my working world, in my post-career playing days. Absolutely, because I like to move fast for sure. And I think that's one of the reasons why living in New York City has helped me, because everybody wants to move fast and get things done fast. I kind of struggle when I come down to Florida. So definitely like moving fast, and I like to get things done. Another thing is being a leader. So yeah, I still think I am a leader in its way or form. Yeah, I'm not a leader of a big team, of a soccer team, but I'm a leader whether it's using my social media platforms to inspire, to motivate. I'm a leader whether it's taking an initiative and helping co-found Kickoff Coffee Co. and with my team. And then I'm a leader also broadcasting, because I am a voice for what we are seeing and what we are learning from the games and what we're enjoying on television. So that's how I use that skill. Body and wellness, as I had mentioned before, I love to use, exercise and being fit as my fuel for my day and my life, because that's what makes me feel good, and that's what makes me also feel grounded and like I accomplished something throughout each day, or whether it's 4 to 5 times a week. So that's for sure. Creativity is another thing. When I was a player, I was definitely one of the most creatives. For instance, in college, I was either a forward, a striker, or a creative center mid, attacking number 10. And I definitely was one of the most technical players out on that pitch. So meaning I love moves, rollovers, double scissors, you name it. Like I had so many moves that I still use these days, maybe not as quick, but that was definitely one of the things. And I always envisioned, like I knew when the ball was coming to me, I already knew where I was going next with that ball, who I was passing it to, or who I was taking on, or what move I was going to move. I was always thinking ahead, playing quick. And today, in today's modern football, like that's what you need to do to be successful as a player. And I think that as an entrepreneur or whomever you want to be, whether it's working for a club or working in the game or in your life, in your journey, like, yeah, you don't need to think so far ahead, but you need a plan for like even whatever it is tomorrow or whatever your strategic goals are. And it's about, kind of envisioning your next pass, what you're envisioning your next move. And I think that has really helped me in my life, in my career. Have I mastered it yet? No, that's for sure. And I'm being completely honest. I pretty much almost mastered it in my playing days, but now in the career world, it's a bit different, in another skill set. So I'm still working on it, but it's a good way to think about, how you're going to receive this pass and where you're going to play it next. So where you're going to go next with either your career, or what are you going to do next to accomplish, your goal in your career or at your job. So yeah, those are the skills that I have been able to utilize, or I've learned from my playing days to where I am today. And then the challenges in my current roles, which were just like injury and the respect and the pay. Well, obviously the injury, I feel like some days, that's just like everybody. Yeah, I'll play and maybe I'll pull a muscle still. But that doesn't really have to do much with my today's life. But in terms of like respect and pay, there's still a massive gap. I remember when I was starting out, working for networks or working for leagues or working for brands or whatever, I would definitely be lowballed. Just say it like that, plain and easy. Just they would see me hungry for work, and see that I had like a social media platform. And in no way would they pay a male counterpart with a background that I have the same that they did to me. But me being me and me wanting to get ahead, like I accepted so many things just cause, but also because I didn't know better. Now in today's, in my life today, thankfully I, have an agent and I have a small team that helps me. And now I am able to say no. And I'm telling you, it's the most wonderful feeling in the world to be able to realize your own value, and to be able just to say, no, I'm sorry, or I'm not sorry. Like, no, I can't. And that's something that took me a while to learn, because being me, I never wanted to say no. And maybe many of you don't want to ever say no to opportunities that come, or to whatever, even someone needs help. You never want to say no. And that's something that I definitely struggled with and still struggle with. But I've learned that I had to value myself and my time more than other people's wants and necessities, and needs and budgets. Just to put it out there that we have to value ourselves. We have to set the bar at a certain spot so that, these brands or companies or leagues or networks or whatever don't pay your same gender or your same role a very small amount when they should be making X. And that's something that I've realized, that respect part and that value part that I, endured through my playing career is still existent in today's day and age. So one piece of advice for players that are retiring. Oh man, get ready. Okay, I'd say if you're retiring and you don't know what's next, and that's a commonality with a lot of recently retired players, or a player that's about to retire. I'd say try to figure out what is something that you really enjoy. So it could be playing soccer, it could be sports, or it could be art, or it could be something, music, whatever it is. And then find out ways that you can hone in on that career, because there's so many angles into like a career. There's so many angles, and I'll get more into this, but I'd say take it day by day, and also try to keep something constant in your life so that the transition, the switch isn't so, it's like ripping off a Band-Aid, and it's not that hard. Because for me, like I mentioned, like the fitness and the exercise and playing soccer for me was like just, it kept something constant and in balance in my life. So when I had just stopped playing soccer, I didn't know if I was gonna stop or not. I was kind of in this like limbo. But the crazy thing is, because everything that I endured with my national team and the way that we were being treated and there was a lot of issues, and I can't get into it now because I don't have time, but there was a lot of issues that I was going through with my national team, on not only an economic scale, but at a personal level. And that's why, one of the reasons why I didn't know if I wanted to ever return to playing soccer. And that was the only reason why I kept on playing soccer, was to represent my country. And so I actually stopped playing soccer for about 6 to 8 months completely, just not even pick up soccer, not even five-a-side. And I started working right away for my parents' business, actually, in accounting and marketing. And I quickly realized that I wasn't happy. But I thought I just had to go through it because that was life. But I had so many breakdowns. I mean, breakdowns where in this exact room, I would wake up and I would just cry because I was missing something, but I also wasn't happy. And I also wasn't like the usual me that I knew I was. And so my mom came into my room one day and she said, I think you need to go. I think you need to do something that you really love and that you want. I want you to be here with us. I want you to work with us. But at the same time, you need to do something that you enjoy. And it was around that same time that I realized there was a gap in the market in social media. There weren't women really posting much about soccer. There really wasn't. Maybe, a few freestylers, but with showing their tremendous talent of freestyling, but not, the day-to-day, what it's like either to be a soccer player or what it's like, how to dribble, how to juggle, like things like that, or just talk about soccer, whether it's NWSL, whether it was the Premier League, whether it was La Liga. So that's when I jumped on it. I said, oh my gosh, there's nobody creating something around soccer on social media. And that's where I started. And I always knew in the back of my mind that I wanted to get into broadcasting, but nobody gave me the time of the day to try it. You see former MLS players, you see US women's or US men's national team players, you see NFL players, you see that as soon as they retire, their agents will help them, or they themselves will have that network already, or connection or business relationship, which luckily so they did, fortunately, that they can jump right in from playing into broadcasting right away with zero experience. That wasn't like that for me. Maybe it's because I didn't represent the US and I represented Colombia. Maybe because when I was looking at, I'm Latina, and it just, I don't know. It just was not easy. I even went to ESPN, drove down to the ESPN offices and, begged for a meeting with people. And I got the meetings, but it didn't give me any opportunities, not even a shot, not even a job. But I realized that I didn't have any experience. So who was going to give me the shot? So I started creating content and building my own reel, talking. And I think that those reels that I made and just talking about soccer in my room or, an apartment, helped me hone in on my verbal skills and communicating and explaining and, so many things that you learn by yourself. And that's what got me to even fall in love more with the broadcasting part. And I said, I want to be on TV. I want to broadcast. And nothing happens in one day, but it took a solid few years to finally get that opportunity. It all just clicked so much because my passion between soccer and broadcasting, being creative, being a leader, being fast, but also being personable and my personality and being happy, and in Spanish we say alegre, and liking to dance and everything, so many things just clicked. And that's when I realized this is what I want to do. So that's how I kind of got into the whole broadcasting, and it all started with social media, and I'm still doing social media, and I'm still doing broadcasting. So that's kind of how that whole journey kind of inched together. Like I said, it did not happen in one day. It actually took quite a while. I started doing, when I retired in 2017, 2018, that's when I started doing videos. And imagine, I didn't get my first actual live television broadcasting on TV for CONMEBOL World Cup qualifiers until last summer. So summer of 2021. So it definitely took a few years, 3 to 4 years to finally get that opportunity. And I always say to everyone, especially you that are potentially retiring, it's just like in soccer, you got to be prepared. So that's definitely my key advice. It's whatever you want to do, be prepared. Because if you fail to prepare, be prepared to fail. Not to scare you at all, but these are the type of opportunities that come, but they go real quick too. So you need to study and you need to know your stuff, whether it's in broadcasting or whether it's like a job interview or whatever it is. Be prepared. That's definitely one of the advice. Advice for players not going pro out of college. It's okay. I'd say that advice, and actually this goes for players retiring and also players that are not going pro out of college. My advice is to network. Network is your net worth, and that's for sure. For me, it has helped me so much. And I'm not saying that connections are going to help, like all this stuff, but you quickly meet people who can help you at some point when they believe in you, when they see your work and your work ethic, and they will open doors for you. They will become your advocates. And that honestly has helped me so much. I'm 32 now, and when I first got to college 10 years ago, I didn't know where I was going to be yet. I didn't know how long I was going to play soccer for. I had an idea that I wanted to get into broadcasting, but I didn't know what I would be doing at social media. I didn't know that I would have a coffee company around soccer, which brings me to my next advice for anyone, whether you're retiring or not retiring, whether you are just figuring out what you want to do in life or in the sport. There's so many angles that you can get involved with in the sport, whether it's broadcasting, whether it's at a club, whether it's at a league, whether it's marketing, whether it's at an agency, whether it's representation. There's so many angles. And I went in an angle that is definitely not the most walked whatsoever. I co-founded this coffee brand around soccer. So imagine like a food item or something that we drink day to day, but around soccer. It's crazy if you think about it. But I realized that there was a gap in the market, or we realized that there was a gap in the market, that we drink coffee every day. We even accompany a coffee to morning games, whether it was, say the morning games from Europe, FAWSL, La Liga, Premier League mornings. And we realized that there was no coffee brand attached to that specific experience or moment. And the Premier League would post #MyPLMorning. And so many Americans here in this American audience would post coffee mugs, literally just like coffee mugs, in front of a TV, enjoying their coffee and watching a game. So we realized that there was a massive gap in the market, and we're Colombian. We love coffee. It's like part of our blood. And something had to be done and quick and make it. And so that's why we made Kickoff Coffee Company, because we wanted to bridge the specialty coffee world, which is our top quality coffee. So delicious, chef's kiss. We wanted to bridge it with soccer, with the soccer culture, with everything that we love and enjoy and we watch every day. We wanted to bridge those two things. But the most important part of it is that we also wanted to have a give back portion, which is why we donate 10% of our coffee profits to organizations around the world that utilize soccer as a tool for social development. So we honed in, we had this massive creative idea and we made it done. During the pandemic, we created it. We came up with the idea in June of 2020. We launched the business in January, February of 2021. And now it's been exactly just a little bit over a year that we've launched. And man, we've done corporate gifting with La Liga. We've done corporate gifting with MLS, with Women in Soccer, with Ata Football, with different brands, Audi in Orlando City. It's been incredible, but it is a startup still, and we're just growing. But I just wanted to show you that there's so many angles that you can get involved into the game. The passion of the game is forever. That's what I've realized, and you just have to enjoy it. Enjoy the journey. Believe in yourself. Believe in your skills. Put yourself out there. Network. Get uncomfortable. You have to get uncomfortable in order to grow. That's for sure. Just like in soccer, it sucks losing, but it sure feels good winning. And that's going to happen in the real world too. There's many times where I didn't get the job, or, I didn't, they didn't want to reach a negotiation, or I didn't get it. Someone else got the job. And that happens just like in soccer. But it's keeping at it, and it's keeping the hustle and working hard, so that you can make the most of who you are in your career. But I think that's about it of my time here. Went a little bit over the minutes, but yeah, my Instagram is at Melissa Ortiz 5. My TikTok as well. Twitter, I think it's Melissa M. Ortiz. But yeah, feel free to reach out, and lovely to meet you all. And make sure you check out Kickoff Coffee Co. I know that Women in Soccer have a discount code. We deliver straight to your door fresh roasted coffee, whether you like it ground or whole bean. So yeah, make sure to check us out, and thank you for your time, and best of luck in your future endeavors. Bye.